And welcome back to Gamescom. We are here at the Twitch main stage. My man John Carnage is here. John Fubar is here, and we are talking about Titanfall.
Yes.
Part 2.
The
sequel.
The sequel.
Throw it up like Vader. Throw it up like Vader would.
Vader time.
What time is it? It's Titanfall 2
Titanfall 2 time.
Obviously, there's been a lot of hype into Titanfall 2. How are you guys delivering on the hype?
You know, it's insane. I mean, to actually be sitting here at Gamescom, my first time at Gamescom, and actually showing the game and being able to have it accessible to so many more people this time, having enough stations and places to play it. But, you know, what we're bringing is, we heard loud and clear that we needed to add a single player to the game. We needed to make a better multiplayer. We needed to create more of it. We needed more Titans. You know, we needed better metagame, being able to unlock things. So we just went right into the project and just started making day one multiplayer better from the get-go. And then the insane task of taking Titanfall 1's hardcore parkour madness and bringing that into a single-player game space was like a massive undertaking.
So what were some of the challenges in taking that multiplayer experience from Titanfall 1 and adding that single-player element after the fact?
I think it's, you know, you usually develop something like Titanfall in reverse. You do the single player first, and then you go into multiplayer. But, you know, multiplayer first, we had to take all this crazy stuff and, you know, bring it into a narrative, you know. And one of the biggest challenges was Titans used to be more disposable. And so we wanted to create a Titan that you actually cared for, had a personality, and you want to stick with him, and you want to create this relationship where you depend on each other. If he goes, you go. You know, you succeed together or you die together. That kind of a stuff. So
you made the Titans like Wally.
I don't.
You made
them.
You care about them.
I think you end up
a little bit more badass.
Oh, okay, sorry. All right.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens, but I think so far so good. I think people are starting to really connect with the Titan we made, BT 7274. We put a tremendous amount of work into making sure he could emote. You know, he has a whole different skeleton for that stuff, so he can do more than the average Titan from multiplayer. But which also makes him unique in the universe of Titanfall. He's the first Titan that the militia actually created themselves. So he's very unique. You'll actually see the reaction of the AI, the boss characters that you fight, the other AI that are in there, and they recognize that Titan's special, and they want to take it from you or destroy it and make sure it doesn't exist. So that was a big undertaking, but also the madness of being able to run like completely quicksilver across a level and just go crazy and beat it from one end to the other in seconds. We had to build larger levels for single player mechanics that kind of work in a way where you wouldn't just, you know, you could easily just take, not easily, but you could take the easy way out with single player and just, you know, make what everybody would expect. But our experiments and the way that the design team went about designing Titanfall 2 single player kind of ended up surprising the hell out of everybody. They did this trick or not a trick, but kind of a method of creating little things called, or player little experiences called action blocks. And then they went and they made, I don't know, over 100 of these different things. And it could range from, you know, just I've got an idea as a designer. I want to do cranes on moving panels. You know, how do we make that work? And then taking all that experience, like the best action blocks we could, stringing them into levels, you end up with this incredibly exotic, crazy environment in single player that you're never doing the same thing on each level. And then also another problem we had to solve was, you know, now that we're doing stuff like that, you need to create these insane, you know, giant moving levels with wall panels and stuff that you can actually wall run on to make it interesting, to really get it going. And then out of that comes some puzzle solving and stuff too through jumping. So mad crazy AI that we were able to bring over from multiplayer Titanfall 1. You know, we had this great AI system that worked in the multiplayer universe. Hey, let's bring that into single player lore and really make it sing and put, you know, different compositions together and throw them at the player and see what happens.
And I understand we have a little video.
Yeah, we got video too, man. I could just hear him talk about this game all the time.
I can
all day.
See it.
Yeah, we got. Oh, there it is too.
Yeah, let's watch it.
There has been an awakening.
What?
No franchise. That's what happens when I wake up every morning.
Is that what happened? Yeah.
That's a bad one-night stand.
So this is from the same single player?
Yeah.
Nice.
This is very early in the single player.
So did you guys really have to sort of dive into the scope of how big the levels are this time around, now that you've had so much mobility within the single player?
Yeah, we really did, and I think there was an emphasis on we want to tell a story on the go. So we even added a mechanic where you can talk to your Titan. You can choose to do that or not do it, but it gives the player the opportunity to converse with him. You'll see it here a little bit in a second. They start kind of going back and forth. You can see the option come up as a little gameplay mechanic.
You guys made it look beautiful.
We added...
What the hell?
Dude, it was so fun to go in and make these single-player levels. Our environment art director, Todd Sue, is just the crazy mad scientist trying to come up with exotic looks and everything with his team and make it really look good. But, I mean, we also added depth of field and...
now, forgive me. I played the first one, right? And I did know that there was like a world, but I didn't know there was like a rainforest and all this other stuff. Was there a backstory in the first one that talks about like the rainforest and everything?
Yeah, in the original one, we had basically a Goldilocks system, a frontier of planets that are, you can go in and inhabit it as humans. And that's the conflict in the story is, the IMC doesn't give a rat's ass about the ecosystem of these worlds and how precious they are, and they're pushing the frontiers, the people on the frontier out of their homesteads, and that's the conflict in Titanfall. You have these basically people trying to fight for their homeland against this tyrannical IMC.
Big business. That was deep. That vibrated the floor.
But yeah, in single player, you're fighting on one planet with a tremendous amount of different ecosystems and environments in it. It's called Planet Typhon.
It's a good name. Good name for the planet.
Yeah.
Planet Titan.
This is rad.
Rolling uppercuts to the face.
Sliding uppercut.
This is cool. I mean, you're working with your Titan in tandem against AI. It's free-form mechanics right here. This is basically an arena in single player. You start off, this is earlier in the game as well, but you start off in these arenas and we slowly build up to chaos. Just crazy stuff.
Now, I understand you guys are doing like a $6 million special edition that comes with the Titan.
Oh, yes, that's right. $6 million special edition headset.
Well, there's wow, I don't know. I wish there were, whatever.
That would be
size Titan.
It's just
diamonds. I don't think I could get that one.
Dipped in gold.
But yeah, we have our collector's edition, our Uber collector's edition comes with a replica Titanfall helmet. And you can wear it. We're shipping on the 28th, so I know what I'm doing for Halloween. I'm wearing that helmet. I'm gonna trick it out.
Smart. I like that. Keep your Halloween ideas open.
You guys always go above and beyond for your collector's editions.
We do. We
So if there's ever a part 3, you guys are actually gonna have a mech that comes with it.
That's
Even
what I
if
said.
it's for a
$6
cat.
million.
Like for a cat. No, like not like a full suit mech for like a human,
Well,
like
you
a little
don't want it
cat.
for-
You could
you
put a
want it
kitten in a mech.
No, you want it for yourself.
Okay, well then that's gonna be like Titanfall 10. That's where they have to keep building up to that.
You got to set goals, okay?
you got to set the bar.
Yeah, set the bar really high. I don't know how many of those.
There's an execution right there. So Titans have executions as well, multiplayer and in single player here too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there was nothing quite like the satisfaction of just punching through a guy in a mech in the first game.
Oh,
ripping
it's
him
so
out of his
cool.
Titan,
Yeah.
just throwing him.
And in multiplayer, those executions will play into the Titan's personality. So I mean, it adds a lot too. Just adding layers of personality to these things and actually making them readable. There's a deployable, it's like a spider drone. We call them ticks. And you deploy it, and they're just little suicide drones that go out and bombastic the AI that go after them. This is a Reaper. It's a half-size Titan that comes in and just lays waste to anything in its path. When it gets cornered, it shoots these ticks all over the place. They all come out like a spread, and you have to deal with these little hordes.
Are those AI controlled, or can you hop in the?
Those are AI completely. Yeah. Those also work into the tech test that we'll be dropping on the 18th. They're part of a bounty hunt game mode that we have.
You guys really put a lot into parts. Yeah. So you listen to the community, I guess. You got all the feedback that you can.
Yeah,
you took the troll part feedback.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, I don't think if you're not listening to the community, you're making something that no one wants. They're our best resource to figuring out how to make the best game, because you get to support that.
The overwhelming feedback was like put single player in.
I think so. There was a huge outcry for that. They really wanted to experience that, and I think also the ability to play offline and single player is really strong.
So with the first one, though, why wasn't there a single player at that time?
I think we were trying new things. I mean, first off, we were trying to go. It was a new console generation. We wanted to do a multiplayer game, and that was a lot of work to get the servers up and running, the net code, the matchmaking working.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's an overwhelming amount of effort to make a multiplayer game.
Huge undertaking. So we started there. It was our debut title, and then we've got a pedigree of doing single player, and we thought, well, let's try something different this time. Let's try to do a campaign mode in multiplayer and see where that goes and follow it. And I think we learned a lot from that. I mean, the Titanfall 2's single player AI benefits tremendously from multiplayer AI we had in Titanfall 1. So
there you go.
It's interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a really interesting, and for an artist, it was, the art team really loved the idea. Same with the designers. I mean, we have 2 teams in-house with the design multiplayer, design SP. And we're playing the strengths of the different core members, the designers and stuff. So just taking advantage of that stuff and having a place to really express single player narrative and multiplayer, and being able to have an offline single player narrative that is a little easier to follow. You can go and take advantage of those mechanics. And I think when you really get going and you start humming in single player, you can rip it up. Like, you can go in there and just mess with AI and cloak and sneak up behind them and do an execution on them, and you get all these different options for that stuff. So it's just fun. You get these great sandbox moments and a really well guided multiplayer or single player campaign at the same time.
I mean, I like the fact that you guys didn't just slap a single player on.
Oh, no way. I think we would have been.
You had. You guys really sort of improved on both aspects of the multiplayer that was already there, and pretty sound multiplayer as well. And then adding the single player, and then making sure that we have new mechs to play with, new functionality within those mechs, new luscious rainforests that John's so excited about.
Yeah, I care about the environment. I'm on that team.
That's
team
not,
environment.
That's not all. We've got more. I mean, if I were to say one thing about the game's single player level, it's just super exotic.
Yeah.
That guy, it's just massive. There's so much to see and so much to do. You can play it different ways. I mean, I like even getting out of my Titan I've had a few playthroughs now just as we're developing it. And I mean, just last week I hopped out of my Titan because I went, hey, I've never been over here. And I found an arena of AI just to fight with, and I grabbed some new weapons that I could get earlier in that section. It's really super sick to be able to explore the world that way and not worry about getting your head shot off every 2 seconds of multiplayer.
Yeah, sure.
Great place to train up, learn the mechanics, hop into multiplayer. We got a deep multiplayer now too.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming out here.
Thanks for having me.
For sharing this with us. There's so much going on with Titanfall 2.
It's crazy.
You can play the game with a helmet.
You can play with
that'd be the best.
That would be the best,
How many pictures are going to be all over social media? People just
I can't wait to see the Twitch of playing Titanfall 2 with the helmet on. Just like pilot.
Pilot. For that. It'll be cool. Wait for that. And all the dogs, they're going to be wearing those helmets, and cats are going to be wearing those helmets. I know that's the first thing I would do is I would put it on a cat. It would actually put the whole thing over him, though.
Put it on your giant head.
I have a big head. And you said that for people that are over 6 feet, the helmet will fit you.
We have made sure. I have a lot of friends with. They don't have big heads. Maybe they have bigger brains.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh,
I want to make sure we're covered. It's an adjustable helmet. It should fit. Hopefully everybody. We'll see what happens. If it doesn't fit, we got an awesome stand for it.
Would it fit on Brock Lesnar?
Maybe.
He looks like the Juggernaut, so I don't know. Maybe only the Juggernaut helmet would work.
I mean, you could split it. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe you have to
crack it or something. Get a Dremel in there and just Velcro.
Oh man, well thank you so much for coming out here and sharing this with us.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah,
We're gonna have more from Gamescom right here.